Nobody in the Pentagon will talk openly about it, and nobody in the White House knows what to do. But make no mistake, there's a deadly new threat ahead for world markets and world politics. A war that could also prove extremely dangerous for you and your money. What is it? Well, my name's Byron King, and I've been a student of geology since my days at Harvard back in the 1970s. Then I worked for a major international oil company, and I've been using and building on that geology background for the past 3 decades. You might know me from my appearances on CNN, CNBC, and Fox News, or for the 5 years I've spent writing about market events like the one you'll hear about today. I call this event new, but I'm actually talking about a deadly crisis that's built up pressure over the last 1,354 years, and that just now might be unleashed. I urge you to get ready. I also urge you to keep watching, even though you might find what I'm about to show you shocking, to say the least. Not only could what I'm about to show you dwarf the impact of the banking crisis, Iraq, Afghanistan, it could explode into a military crisis so widespread it'll start looking like Europe in the 1930s. And closer to home, it not only might slam the U.S. dollar, it could also double or even triple oil prices over the next 12 to 18 months. Of course, that would torpedo any recovery, and maybe your finances too. You see, I have shocking proof that links as many as 8 key Islamic countries in what could unfold as a gigantic new war. This war could be more bloody than anything we've seen so far, smack in the middle of the most vital oil region in the world. It's not clear who might win, but it's certain anybody who depends on a free flow of oil would lose, unless they took the steps you'll see here. Because, you see, even in a crisis as big as the one I'll show you here, you can protect yourself. How so? Well, the last time politics pushed up the price of petroleum, we posted a strategic self-defense gain of 668%. And that's just the beginning. For instance, there was our 137% gain on Key West Energy, or the 332% gain on Glamis Gold, or a 270% gain on silver call options, and many more, as you can see here. Even now, we continue to post similar turbulence-driven gains. Some of today's open positions have already shot up. For example, we're already seeing 34%, 37%, 39%, 54%, 123%. I had 172%, 198%, 229%, 231%, 270%, 306%, 377%, 611%, and much more. Today's potential firestorm event could hit much harder than anything we've seen, but this crisis could create opportunity too. In just a moment, I'll show you what the smart money is doing. But first, let's take a look at the potential crisis ahead. To understand what I'll show you, you have to go back with me in time, long before today's wars and market woes. Go back to a lamb dinner served one evening back in 629 AD. At the head of the table sat Muhammad, the controversial founder of Islam. But the lamb was poisoned, and even though he spat it out, it was too late. His sudden death launched a bloody 1,354-year battle for control of Islam. It's a battle that still rages today, but that could soon explode in a way nobody ever imagined it would. On the one side, you've got the Sunni Muslims, and they've got the upper hand in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, most other Islamic countries. They also control lots of oil. On the other side, you've got the Shia Muslims. They run Iran, but their power is growing, especially in Lebanon, Syria, and even Iraq. While the Sunnis and Shia have always hated each other, think Northern Ireland or Bosnia, there's a new wild card nobody's accounted for. And it's this wild card that could soon plunge the entire oil-soaked Middle East into a region-wide religious war, forcing world oil prices to skyrocket too. Take a look at this map. The dark areas are Shia. The light areas are Sunni. For centuries, Shia in Iran have wanted to change this map. But now they might actually try to do it. The new oil war flashpoint number 1, the real reason Iran wants the bomb. Remember, the biggest Shia state of all, Iran, used to be the Persian Empire. Their scholars walked with Aristotle and Plato. Their armies held off the Romans. They invented chess, windmills, and wine, and bricks and trigonometry. Persia, which is now Iran, also owned most of the land that stretches from Pakistan and Afghanistan to Iraq, to Syria, Egypt, and Israel. Iran's crackpot leaders would love to take it all back. And now they see what might be their first chance in centuries to try. You see, Tehran's pursuit of a nuclear bomb is just the beginning. Take a look at this next map. Notice 2 things. First, Iran's near total control of the Strait of Hormuz. And second, Iran's Shia influence pouring into war-torn Iraq. Over 17 million barrels of oil, 90% of all the oil coming out of the Middle East, must pass through that Strait of Hormuz every day. Already, Iran could paralyze world oil shipments overnight just by shutting down that waterway. But now, they could be working on a bigger power play. You see, Iran's support for Shia militants in Iraq is strongest in southern Iraq, where 6 of Iraq's 8 supergiant oil fields are located. Plus, they now get almost open road access to war-hungry allies in Syria and Lebanon. What you might not know is that Tehran donates as much as $1 billion every year to Lebanon's Hezbollah terrorists, and they gave billions more to Syria's bloodthirsty president to build cement factories, car factories, power plants, storage silos. But what does Iran get in return? They get Hezbollah's Arabic-speaking terrorists to run militant Shia training camps in Iraq. And they get Syria to distribute Iran's money and weapons to others in the Shia network, a network that reaches a lot farther than you think. For instance, far south to a very unexpected place, Yemen. New oil war flashpoint number 2, Yemen's ugly secret. Ask yourself, why did the Pentagon triple its budget on Yemen? Why would U.S. General Petraeus meet with Yemen's president? And why did our own State Department call tiny little Yemen a threat to global stability? Even ABC News says Yemen is the next top target in the terror war and a near-perfect haven for terrorists. And President Obama is quietly sending ships, troops, and weapons. Why? Take a look at this map. Notice 2 things. First, another oil choke point called the Gate of Tears. And second, Yemen's big border with Saudi Arabia. For 6 years, Yemen has fought with Shia rebels. These rebels are broke, but somehow they're getting money to keep fighting. Says one Yemeni general, he has no doubt that there is Iranian support. What could Iran possibly want in Yemen? Well, first there's the Bab el-Mandeb, which means the Gate of Tears. It's a second oil choke point. Over 3.3 million barrels of oil shipped through here every day. Closing off the Gate of Tears would also cripple other oil states and slap a fat premium onto world oil prices. There's still more. You see, both Yemen and Shia-controlled Iraq also share borders with the indisputable mortal enemy of Shia Islam and Iran. That's Saudi Arabia. Oil war flashpoint number 3, Iran's final prize, Saudi oil. Remember the race wars in the U.S. in the 1960s? Well, in Saudi Arabia, Sunni schools teach that Shiites aren't real Muslims. Shias also can't hold a seat in politics, become judges, or testify in court. Shias and Sunni cannot even marry. It's against state law. Worst of all, back in the 1980s, the Saudis gave Sunni ally Saddam Hussein over $47 billion to fire missiles and chemical weapons into Iran in an 8-year anti-Shia war that killed up to 500,000 Iranians. And Iran has not forgotten. Final battleground? Well, with a terror network to the north and bought Shia loyalty in the south and elsewhere, Iran suddenly has the Saudis surrounded. As you can see, Saudi Arabia, which is home to both Mecca and the oil-corrupted Sunni princes, looks like a sitting duck. In the south, Yemen's rebels have already hit towns across the Saudi border. 50 Saudi schools along the border had to close. Another 240 border towns were evacuated. Saudi jets have already dropped bombs in Yemen. We're at a tipping point. Not every Shia wants a revolution, but enough do that a deep river of secret revenge could soon flood across the entire oil region. From the nearly 2 million Shia that work in Saudi oil fields to any of the 162 million Shia spread from Pakistan to Lebanon and Azerbaijan to the coast of North Africa. It's a jihad generation that's coiled to attack, and you don't have to take my word for it. Leaders in all three of our biggest allies in the Middle East, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, warn that Sunni and Shia tensions are on the brink. Abu Dhabi alone has bought $17 billion worth of U.S. anti-missile hardware. The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia just splurged on $25 billion in weapons, too. Even the U.S. just committed more F-16 fighter jets, Patriot missile systems, giant cruisers, and up to 20,000 U.S. troops to the coming fight. Remember how oil shot up because of the OPEC crisis of 1973? Or how about during the Iranian Revolution of 1979? Even the threat of this rising new war could drive oil prices suddenly higher. And a full-on attack could send oil prices to $220 per barrel. When historical shifts happen, getting rich can be your best protection. You could just wait to see what happens, or you could protect yourself while you still have a chance. Over and over again, the key to survival in times of chaos is to own the very resources threatened by the attack. Think about it. During World War II, the Yom Kippur War, during the Iranian hostage crisis, during countless clashes in Palestine and Israel, during both Gulf Wars, oil was just one of those resources that suddenly got more valuable. Could that easily happen again? Of course, especially with almost 66% of the world's gas and oil reserves on the line. And owning a stake in advance could also be your single best defensive power play. Take the 174% gain my readers and I recently posted on PetroChina, or our 160% gain on Western Oil Sands, another 182% on Talisman Energy, or 104% of the Icon Energy Fund, and 476% so far on Suncor Energy. I urge you to let me send you my new 2012 Crude Awakening Countdown Library. It's free. Inside, you'll find 5 special reports that detail 18 different market moves that you could follow right now, including the opportunities directly tied to this new oil war, but also all kinds of new plays that could just take off on the news. Imagine, for instance, posting gains like the 118% my readers saw on Anglo American Limited, or the 151% gain we posted with Tocqueville Gold, plus our 263% gain with Coeur d'Alene, or the 177% gain we made on the same stock on a second pass, and the 270% gain that we saw on silver call options. I want to share all 18 moves with you for free inside the 2012 Crude Awakening Countdown Library that I'll send. I'll even cover shipping and handling. Let me give you a glimpse of some of the easy money-making moves you'll find inside. Defensive power play number 1, the single best energy stock to own over the next 20 years. I'll give you a hint. It's 6,859 miles from the battlegrounds of the Middle East. When the smart money ran from the Middle East oil in the past, it ran to Canada, Mexico, and the United Kingdom. Today, that strategy could work even better. But that's only one of the reasons I think this first major defensive power play could be the single best oil stock to own both now and over the next 20 years. It's an oil field nearly 7,000 miles from the Middle East. Nobody even knew much about it until 2006. That's the year they cracked through the field's salt layer, more than a mile thick, and found 8 billion barrels of new oil. That's already more than the proven oil reserves in Norway's entire North Sea oil region. But then they kept looking. In a deposit almost 500 miles long and 100 miles wide, they've found what could be as much as 100 billion barrels of oil. That would be more than almost all the oil fields in Iraq put together, and more than all of Russia's reserves, or Iran's, or the Saudis' legendary oil find at Ghawar. That's why this could be the greatest energy discovery in 100 years. It's called the Tupi Field. And here's the thing. The reason it took so long to find is that it's hidden some 2 miles below the blackest, roughest seas as far as 240 miles off the coast of Brazil. I know what you're thinking. This is deep water crude. And isn't that dead in the wake of the BP oil disaster? And here's what I'll tell you. I'm not just someone who finds resource-rich market opportunities. After my years as an oil exploration geologist, I also spent time in the military as a tactical jet pilot. So I know more than just the science of oil. I know plenty about the politics of it, too. I still do plenty of research in the field. In fact, I was out on a live deepwater rig just days before the BP accident in the Gulf. So I can tell you firsthand that anyone who tells you that getting at valuable deepwater oil is tough, dangerous, and expensive, they're absolutely right. The water pressure is so intense that it could crush a submarine. Instead, they have to use underwater robots. Sometimes it takes a satellite image to find new deposits. Always, you need massive ships to set up the rigs. Even helicopter flights to the drill sites can take up to 2 hours and cost $50,000 each. But with all that, I'm absolutely convinced that deepwater crude is the future of big oil. And this breakthrough is the single best opportunity for you to get rich during the radical, politically charged oil crisis ahead. Why? Well, I can show you the evidence, and you can decide for yourself. It's all in the eye-opening free report that I'll send. Plus, I'll show you 3 more breakthrough, potentially money-making moves. One is a trusted family-owned company that you already know. What you might not know is that they're also sitting on a massive energy discovery. I see the second move soaring up to 3 times higher from where it sits today. Another is a cutting-edge American company with drilling technology oil majors are lined up to buy. Only a handful of companies worldwide can do what they do. They're lining up new contracts by the score and could easily give you a 50% gainer over the 12 to 18 months ahead. The fourth opportunity I can give you, I like to call the most important oil equipment company in the world. Why? Because they're the single largest supplier of their kind of equipment to ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, and more. Bottom line is that deepwater crude is not disappearing anytime soon, and I would hate for you to miss out. Let me rush you your free copy of the first report in your library, Deepwater Crude Bonanza, 4 ways to get rich on the new oil frontier, so you can see for yourself. And then there's more. Defensive power play number 2. 2 more ways to get rich as Shanghai goes dark. Obviously, safe oil isn't the only energy resource that's running out. And it's not just the U.S. looking for more. China, for instance, is desperate for all kinds of power, including electricity. Right now, the Chinese use mostly coal, but with 1 billion utility customers, they don't have enough. So they're going nuclear instead. Right now, China has 11 nuclear reactors, but they're building 17 more. They want to rocket that number to 124 full-capacity nuclear reactors, kicking their uranium demand 10 times higher than it is right now. Last full year on record, China used 769 tons of uranium. Beijing's new plan would call for 20,000 tons per year. What happens as the rest of the energy-starved world catches up? The U.S. has 104 reactors already, and Belgium, Sweden, South Korea, Switzerland, Japan, Spain, The UK and France all use nuclear power heavily too. Yet worldwide, there are plans to get at least 295 more nuclear reactors up and running. That's a lot of uranium. According to a study by MIT, power demand could triple over the coming decades, and a huge portion of that new demand will be met with nuclear power. I'm sure you remember, uranium shot up from $10 to $130 a pound between 2003 and 2007. And uranium stocks more than doubled. Today, uranium's cheap again, but it won't be for long. Take a look at this chart. For what it costs China to run for just 2 days on oil, they could run a whole year on uranium. If cheap uranium can meet China's exploding energy needs many times over, at a time when new war and a supply crisis could be about to explode the price of oil, isn't this already a no-brainer? That's why I'd love to show you 2 easy ways to gain if uranium and nuclear-driven stocks take off all over again. The first stock is a single stock that lets you track gains for the whole uranium boom, from miners and storage companies to equipment, power, and enrichment plants, all with one single defensive power play. You'll find all the details, plus a second special nuclear revolution market move in a second brand new report that I'd love to send you. It's called China's Next Big Crisis, 2 ways to get rich as Shanghai goes dark. And it's also yours for free in the special library of 5 research reports I told you about. Then there's something else. Defensive power play number 3, the gold secret nobody is telling you. What's the single best money move that you could have made between 1999 and now? I'll bet you already know. While S&P stocks fell 9.12%, this one investment shot up 420%. In fact, you'll find that even though the single best year for stocks over the last 25 years was just 34%, the best year for this other move topped 100.2%. Of course, I'm talking about gold. And then precious metal coins did even better, up 198.8%. Is it too late now to make more on the yellow metal? Not at all. From 1979 to 1982, during the Iranian hostage crisis and the worst inflation the U.S. has seen yet, the yellow metal surged 2,329%. In 2010, gold corrected 7 times. Yet gold prices shot up again each time and finished the year hundreds of dollars higher than its low. No doubt we'll see more corrections too. But with soaring U.S. debt and this new war potentially brewing in the Middle East, you could easily see a natural hedge like gold soar much higher. My outstanding investment readers have already seen gains on 9 out of the 13 mining stocks in my open model portfolio. And I don't mean measly, unnoticeable gains. Instead, we've seen gains of 172%, 229%, 231%, 270%, 306%, and even 611%. I'm urging my readers to pay attention to gold and silver right now. And I urge you to pay attention too, because this story is far from done. Let me rush you one more free special gift. It's a report called Bullion and Beyond, Ultimate Wealth Protection Against the Coming Dollar Collapse. Inside, you'll discover Name Your Price Gold. That is, you pick what to pay. Tax-free gold and silver gains. The 2 best gold stocks right now. Plus, 9 ways the super rich own gold, or how to get no-cost insurance for your gold holdings, and even how to store your metals safely and without paying management fees. All inside this 3rd free report, which is yours with the rest of the full 2012 Crude Awakening Countdown library. I hope you'll let me rush you the full free gift set. All I need is your permission, and it's all yours, no questions asked. Before I show you how to get started, let's just run through everything I'll send. A free gift report number 1, titled Crude Awakening, How to Survive the Total Global Energy Crunch
2012.
Here's where I show you how to get ready for the potential new war surge in oil prices. You could actually get very rich with the 3 key moves in this report. It's worth $49, but I'll see that you get a copy for free. And then you'll get free gift report number 2, Bullion and Beyond, Ultimate Wealth Protection Against the Coming Dollar Collapse. When exploding federal debt collides with soaring oil prices, inflation will follow. Protect yourself with the 9 powerful moves in this next free report. It's also worth $49, but you'll get your gift copy for free. You'll also get free gift report number 3, China's Next Big Crisis, 2 Ways to Get Rich as Shanghai Goes Dark. China has to go nuclear if they don't want their big cities to go dark. But with just 2 stocks, you could get rich as Beijing triples their plans for building more nuclear power plants. Find out how in this 3rd special report, also worth $49, but yours for free. Free gift report number 4, Deepwater Crude Bonanza, 4 ways you can still get rich on this new oil frontier. While big oil scrambles to replace banned Gulf oil drilling, a handful of investors could get very rich on this potentially record-breaking find, what could be the biggest oil discovery of the last 100 years. Find out how in this 4th report, also worth $49, but it's yours for free. Plus, there's one more, free bonus report number 5, Tight Gas and High Yields, the energy breakthrough that can pay you double-digit dividends.
You might not know about the breaking story behind Tight Gas, the energy breakthrough that could pay out double-digit dividend yields, and some say could cover U.S. energy demands for decades. And that is just the start. I've compiled everything you need to know to play 3 of the best income-producing petroleum companies, all in this 5th extra bonus report, also yours for free. Altogether, that's $245 worth of gifts, yours to keep at no charge. All you have to do to get everything is agree to try a full year of my top-ranked advisory newsletter, Outstanding Investments, also free with my special invitation. And just so you know, this is the same Outstanding Investments letter that industry watchdog Mark Holbert has ranked the number 1 performing market newsletter of the last 10 years in his independent Holbert Financial Digest.
Says paid-up reader Gary Coyne. On Monday, I sold for a net profit of 560%. Today, I took another net gain of 652% and a profit of 205%. I'm absolutely wrapped. And Jeff Burke, a tree surgeon from Dayton, Ohio, writes in, all of the recommendations I hold from Outstanding Investments are up a minimum of 36%. Reader Charles Bowman writes, I made a 140% gain with Tocqueville Gold. Great pick. And 64% on Northgate, another winner.
In fact, nearly 52,000 people read Outstanding Investments.
They've watched resource riches just like these pile up, and I'm getting them primed for even more. I'd love for you to join them. That's why I've made a very special arrangement with my publisher so you can try Outstanding Investments for free for up to a full year. You'll get to try it all at your own pace and keep everything I send no matter what. It couldn't be easier. All you need to do is agree to either a 1 or 2 year trial subscription to my top-ranked research letter, Outstanding Investments. Inside each issue, I'll show you how to pile up gains on oil and gas, clean coal, uranium, plus wind, geothermal, solar, and more, as well as gold, silver, platinum, copper, cotton, and every other vital resource move you can think of. You'll get my breakdown on where the rest of the world markets are headed too. And all you have to do is agree to accept the first half of your entire subscription absolutely free. It's that simple. That's right. Show your commitment to Outstanding Investments for 1 year and get 6 months of issues completely free. Agree to try Outstanding Investments for 2 years and you'll get 12 issues absolutely free. And of course, you'll get the 5 free research reports either way. Yours to keep, no questions asked. Doesn't that sound fair? Your 1 year subscription would normally cost $99, but with this special half-off deal, you pay just $49. For the 2 year subscription, you'd normally pay $198. But special half-off deal, you pay just $89. To start your 1 or 2 year subscription, simply click the Get Started Now link beneath this video. Either way, it's like getting half your issues for absolutely free and at no risk, too. Because everything you'll get is also completely protected by the publisher's 100% lifetime satisfaction guarantee. That's right, you get your issues, enjoy your reports. If you like everything I send, do nothing. You'll keep getting more great research picks month after month. If you don't love my research, just tell my publisher and he'll cut you a check for a full refund of your subscription price at any time, even if it's the last day of your paid subscription. And you still keep everything you've received so far. No questions asked. So you've really got nothing to lose. To start your risk-free subscription today, simply click the Get Started Now link beneath this video. I hope this sounds fair to you. I also hope you'll move on this rare event quickly. After everything I've shown you unfolds, it might be too late. It's no accident that in a crisis, this is where the smart money runs. It's also no accident that the strategy I'm showing you here has been the backbone of history's greatest fortunes. I hope I'll hear from you soon. Simply visit the Get Started Now link below.